Hello everyone, today this is a new series that I've planned and that is going to be, I haven't figured out the title yet, but the idea is I'm going to be fighting the strongest North American players or US server players and showing them off. So obviously, you can't start any better way than the man himself, Olympiuh, probably one of the most well-known US server players. He's a good friend of mine and we had some banter, so we decided let's play. So to start this off, we have some Kibo versus Jack. Kibo has a good advantage here because of her speed, but the thing is that Jack, if he just gets a few lucky hits off, he can really do numbers to Kibo's health bar. Olympiuh is very good at Jack as well, despite him being like one of the on the lower end of Shadow Fight characters right now. He has a very great way of pressure. Catches me with that grab into shadow form. It's fine, I have to take that. 14 fractures, not ideal. Just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Hitting that basic, trying to outspeed him, because I don't have much options, but that special's nasty. And he whiffs here, so I just finish him off with rolling waves. I could have definitely done without that special, but it's fine, whatever. And now he has his king on here, Nightmare. He's running double crit boost on this team, by the way, with a shadow form extension. So his king is lethal. I start the game off with that 1,000 cuts. I'm playing very slow here because I have 18 fractures. I have to be a little careful at the range. No onslaughts, I can hit the heavy. Very bad low attack here. Look at that chip damage. I catch him lacking with the rolling waves again, stack attack. And I'm trying a little slow here, but I'm going to do a Hail Mary here with the shadow form. I personally could not see a better scenario. I wanted him to waste some health instead of basically just giving him free shadow energy by hitting me on block. I just did a Hail Mary. I move my Gideon in here, I have a Gideon video planned for the future, but this is all that you're getting for now. He has a Nightmare combo to start off. He does a whiff, but so do I. Look at that, 1156 damage, by the way. I interrupt his combo and lessen the damage slightly. But then I just gave it back to him by doing a really bad sweep there. That's fine. I clear the Oathbound charges. Upper into that bullet, very nice. Into that double heal with the shadow form. That's a really good thing about Gideon as a heal. I'm just going to keep poking here because that's what Gideon's really good at. Especially in this king matchup. You just want to keep the pressure and you just want to basically just buy for time here. I hit that shot to send him into the afterlife. I predict that and dodge it with the heavy. It's that into that strong, that forward shadow. Pretty good gameplay here, but I say fuck you. And just hit the shadow and finish him off that way. And his last character is going to be Sarge. This is always a bit of a messy match, I would say, with Sarge. He's playing Prison of Souls as well, which makes his Sarge almost undefeatable in my eyes. One of the strongest sets of the game. We know we both hit each other. I have to get out of this corner ASAP. I hit him with the ranged feint. He catches me with, I have to get caught by the upper. It's just how it is. There's no going around it. Gonna hit that basic, trying to make him do some dumb actions here so I can get those heals off, because once I get those heals, I'm just back in the game. And look at that, back into the game. I force him into the shadow form with the upper shadow. He gets the grab off, it's whatever. I'm very low on health, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. I'm just mixing him up with those basics here into that. He rolls back and I whiff that. I missed the timing very narrowly, sadly, into the grab. It's okay though, I still have one character left. I've been playing some E2 recently. I only picked him up the day before I filmed this fight. I picked up E2. So if you have any fun with my E2 gameplay, trust me, I know. He's not very good, but it's fine. I'm gonna poke here. He activates the shadow form. I'm getting my distance off, but it's Prison of Souls. I can't do anything. He gets the grab damage off into the heavy. I go immediately into my shadow. Get that nice heal. I might be playing Quintessence in the future, but for now, I'm using this. Once again, you know, I get out of that corner because I know that's a problem. I force him into the shadow form with a heavy. Now, it's a bit of a barbaric strategy, but I know I have the health advantage here, so I do it. He cancels my time manipulation with the upper attack. Now, I'm playing very slow here. I catch him with that low. No, once again, I did that. I forgot that I didn't have enough shadow energy, or that would have been game right there. And he just walks into that key to infinity portal. That's very nice for me. That's game 1. For game 2, he realized that I'm going to be playing Kibo first, so he switched to Sarge instead of Jack. And this makes it much harder, you know. On paper, Kibo has a very good matchup into Sarge. The problem is that Sarge can have a lot of bullshit going. That's very much a problem for Kibo. I accidentally attacked into that shadow thing. And this is what it is with Prison of Souls. There's just nothing you can do against it. By the way, guys, if you enjoy this gameplay so far, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot and really lets me know what type of content you guys want to see in the future. I accidentally roll into a heavy attack. Yeah, this is not a great game for me. I know, heavy kick, I get cancelled. And you know, he gets that upper attack. And that shadow form, which means I'm dead. So yeah, this was not a great game for me all in all, but it's fine. You know, I'm going to move in my Gideon here, you know, hoping to skill diff him to victory. I accidentally attack into the back attack again. I pulled him up. I missed the shot. He predicts the feint, which is kind of annoying. I missed the timing. Yeah, I'm messing up a lot against Sarge here because Olympiuh did a very strange thing where he switched up his way of playing Sarge like midway, which really messed me up. He escapes the corner very sadly, and I missed the shot again. I missed the shadow form, and I commit as well, which is very bad. Yeah, so this is not a great scenario. It's over. So, yeah, you know, I try to get out, but it's Prison of Souls. You're just dead if he gets into the shadow form. So, no, it's all up to E2 to save the day here. E2 versus Sarge. If I had a really good E2, I could have done a lot more here. I start off with that special attack. I probably could have activated a shadow there, but it's fine. You know, he catches me with that shadow next. It's whatever, I didn't take too much damage. He activates his shadow form immediately. I didn't expect him to do that either, but whatever. Now I cancel his grab here, you know, mitigating the damage. He whiffs, so I put him into the corner, low attack, walk forward, second grab. I get that nice crit damage there. But this is a very precarious situation, and I completely fumble here, but it's fine, you know. I was just basically emoting there with the back attack. I knew that wouldn't land, but I was just emoting. I hit him with that, and that's a confirmed shadow. So yeah, no OCV, but I got completely demolished here. Now, this is one of my least favorite matchups, and that's E2 versus Jack. Because E2 has to play very passive against Jack, and I just don't really do that very well. I fumble a lot against Jack. I thought he wouldn't be able to react to that, but he does. You know, I have to play very slow here. He predicts it, you know, I get that in there, but he whiffs the strong, so I go with my dash. He predicts the grab though, which is very annoying, and he gets me into that shadow combo. I foresee that, so I dash again. And my objective right now is get health, because I will get obliterated if he just hits me on chip. I'm trying to bait him out here, hit that low. And again, I should have done special, but instead I did the shadow form to get some regen. And this is lag, by the way. That moment was lag. I accidentally double inputted even though I predicted right. So that's game 2. Now, I did cut 2 games in the middle there, but in those 2 games we went to 2-2. I did that for the sake of time, by the way. So this is the final game. And I whiffed that low attack in the start very bad. You know, I get the Sarge stuff off. Not too bad. I hit the basic, you know, trying to get up to the onslaught. With a special kick to get into it. And I'm going to do a wall jump here to get out. But it's fine. I just want to get out of the corner because I would have gotten demolished in the corner. You know, I'm poking him. I'm trying to at least just get a trade here. You know, he gets his heavy on block. I cancel his special. I sadly again walk into that special, which is back attack, which is crit into heavy. And then he grabs me, and this is terrible because he just blitzes me like that. I did not expect that to happen. It's fine. I move in E2 immediately because I know the only guy that can compete with this bullshit is him. And immediately right off the bat, that fling, he whiffs that, so I respond with the shadow move. I did not expect him to do the basic attack here, but it's fine. I got my time manipulation, predict his special. He enters his own shadow form. So he does a very bad whiff there, so I respond with that. Heavy kick. I thought the TM would save me there, but it didn't. So I do that, and I thought this would land too, but it's very sad, and then the zone goes away. Sarge gets into a shadow form again, gets his healing. It's whatever, I get my basic kick off. He doesn't punish that. And I could finish it with the shadow form here, but I decided that basic was better because then I would keep my shadow move going into the next round. Now again with the E2 versus Jack, I take some chip here. I have to move in with Fling. Fling is a very good tool for E2 in these sort of matchups where he has to deal with a lot of unbreakables. I have to play very slow here. I thought he would cancel it there. I whiff, and I thought that, again, I'm a little delayed with my time manipulation timing. That's just an experience thing, I guess. Yeah, I get that heavy kick off. I'm keeping the pressure up, just trying to charge up my time manipulation. I can't use shadow move very safely, as you can tell, because he'll just do that. He sadly misses that. And I do the wall jump because they made the wall jump super sensitive now, which is really annoying. So yeah, that was a complete fumble with E2. But now, it's time for Gideon to save the day. Full health, 2 characters. Let's see if he can do it. I move in with the heavy attack, bait it. So I move in with the grab. He thought I was going to shoot, so he did an upper attack. I'm doing the jump to see if he'll actually full commit to the special. I wait and do the shot to edge him out. I'm keeping the pressure up. I'm moving him into the corner so I can get better pressure. Double basic into the immediate shot this time. He rolls forward. He didn't expect, usually doesn't know giddy counterplay. I just say fuck you immediately into the shadow combo. So that was a really good outcome for me. I only have 6 fractures, which is not ideal, but it's fine. But he has Nightmare, King of the Legion, shadow form buff, 2 crit buffs. So yeah, essentially I have to just not die here, the objective. And I sadly get caught by the shadow combo. I tried doing it with the back attack, but I was just a little too early. Look at that, starting off the game with just 40% HP. This is not great. I just popped the shadow form here so I can break the Nightmare. I knew that winning with Nightmare would be a problem, so I just cleared it. I'm breaking the Monarch value. He does a really bad shadow form here, so I punish that. Hit with the shot, basically just wastes his entire shadow form. He panics, it's low, so I move forward. I'm trying to edge him out here because I know that he's low. He's almost at 25% HP, so I know that I'm just going to pressure him with headshot. A special cancel to get him off the ground. I miss it, sadly, but it's fine. I got grabbed here. And this will be a very close because this comes down to whoever can get their insta-kill first because we are both about to die here. I missed the shot, so now he gets into his shadow combo. This is where Guardian Spectre is getting some use, the worst ability in the game. I try here, but I don't have any options faster than special attack. If I had predicted it, I could have done up, but he has a lot of options that could have countered that, so, I can't know that. It's easy to see, a lot of the mistakes I made in this game in retrospect. I think that if I trained my E2 a little bit more, I probably could have won, but Olympiuh played very well. Personally, honestly, probably my fault for bringing a half-baked E2 against Olympiuh, but it's fine. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope to do this with more players in the future. And if you want to see me do this against more players in the future, please let me know in the comments below. So, with that, everybody, have a good day.